Listen to me, your energy is too expensive to waste on noise. You don't even realize how much of yourself you're giving away every single day, and not to the grind, not to your vision, but to arguments, to explanations, to trying to prove yourself to people who don't even care if you win. Every word you throw out there, every time you get caught up defending yourself, every time you try to clap back, you're leaking energy that you're supposed to be putting into your dream. Some of you are tired not because the work is heavy, but because the noise is loud. You're drained because you keep handing out pieces of yourself to people who can't add value back to you. And you wonder why you don't have strength left when it's time to grind. I need you to hear me. Your mouth is writing checks that your grind isn't cashing. You're talking about what you're going to do. You're talking about who doubted you. You're talking about how they slept on you. But you're not putting enough sweat into the plan. You're not silent long enough to build momentum. Results are supposed to make the noise for you. Your hustle is supposed to be the speaker, not your mouth. But the truth is, you'd rather convince people than show them. You'd rather argue than execute. And that's why you're still standing in the same place, because energy that could have built something real got wasted on trying to be right. See, I learned this the hard way. I used to explain myself. I used to go back and forth, trying to make people understand why I was chasing what I was chasing. But the day I shut my mouth and let the work speak, that's when I saw doors start opening. That's when opportunities started showing up, not because I talked about them, but because I created undeniable evidence. You don't have to tell people you're focused when they can see you outworking everybody in the room. You don't have to tell people you're committed when you're the first one in and the last one out. Silence doesn't mean weakness, it means discipline, it means control, it means you know where your energy belongs. Some of you can't get to the next level because you're still responding to everybody. Somebody calls you out, you gotta answer. Somebody doubts you, you gotta prove them wrong. Somebody questions you, you gotta clap back, and every time you do, you give them the power. You let them dictate where your energy goes, and the more you do that, the less energy you have for yourself. Do you realize what could happen if you took all that passion, all that fire, all that emotion you put into arguments, and you redirected it into your grind? Do you realize how unstoppable you would be if you stayed silent and worked while they were busy talking? Think about this. Every successful person you admire, they didn't get there by talking about it all day. They didn't get there by explaining themselves to doubters. They put their head down, they stayed silent, and they let their results become the billboard. They let success be the announcement. And when people finally woke up and noticed, it was too late to question them. By then, the evidence was undeniable. That's the kind of focus you need to have. Stop trying to be seen before it's time. Stop trying to convince people who aren't even invested in your journey. Your energy is sacred, and you're out here giving it away to arguments that don't change your life. You got goals, you got dreams, you got places you said you want to go. Well, you can't get there if you keep wasting gas on noise. Every time you let yourself get distracted by somebody else's opinion, you're delaying your own breakthrough. Every time you let your mouth do the talking instead of your grind, you're pushing your dream further back. Silence doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're letting people walk over you. It means you're strong enough to keep your eyes on your lane while they're swerving in theirs. It means you're disciplined enough to invest every drop of your energy into building, not defending. It means you trust that your results will speak louder than any words ever could, because at the end of the day, results are the only language everybody understands. So if you're serious, if you're tired of talking, if you're ready to stop leaking energy into empty spaces, then lock in. Conserve that energy, protect it, redirect it, and use it to build the life you keep saying you want. Because the truth is, your energy is too expensive to waste on noise. Listen, silence speaks louder than words. Too many of you are addicted to being heard, addicted to being seen, addicted to proving something with your mouth when the truth is the loudest message you'll ever send is in what you do. People don't remember what you told them you were going to do. They remember what you actually did. You can say you're focused, you can say you're disciplined, you can say you're going to make it out, but none of that sticks if there's no evidence. And evidence doesn't come from noise, it comes from action. The problem is you want applause before you've earned it. You want people to clap for the idea, for the vision, for the talk. But the world doesn't pay you for what you say you'll do, it pays you for what you produce. So you gotta stop announcing every little move you're making. You gotta stop broadcasting your plans before they're ready. Every time you tell people what you're going to do instead of quietly building it, you're stealing power from yourself. You're letting people weigh in, you're letting their doubts creep in, you're opening the door for distraction. And distraction is the enemy of destiny. There's a reason why seeds grow underground. They don't sprout the moment they hit the soil. They stay hidden. They stay silent. They take root in the dark before anybody can see the growth. And then one day, when it's strong enough, it breaks through the surface, and the same people who didn't know it was there can't ignore it anymore. That's how your grind should be. Stop forcing people to notice you in the planting stage. Stop trying to get respect in the rooting stage. Just stay silent. Do the work underground, and when it's time, your growth will make all the noise you need. See, silence is not about hiding. It's about power. It's about knowing when to speak and when to let your results do the talking. Think about the greatest champions, the greatest leaders, the ones who shifted culture. They didn't talk about every move. They didn't waste energy telling people why they were great. They let the wins, the records, the evidence do it. And that's why they're remembered, because the work screamed louder than their voice ever could. Some of you wonder why people don't take you seriously, and the truth is, you talk too much. You tell everybody your goals, you post every step of the process, you keep updating people about what's coming, but you don't have anything finished. And when people don't see results, they stop listening. You can only hype something for so long before people stop believing. That's why you gotta flip it. Stop talking, stop announcing, stop begging for validation, and start building. Let your silence be the setup for the explosion. Let your consistency be the language you speak. Silence is strategy. When you're silent, you're unpredictable. Nobody knows your next move. Nobody can sabotage what they can't see. Nobody can discourage what they don't know exists. You keep giving people ammunition against your own dreams because you're too busy explaining instead of executing. Protect your ideas in silence, nurture them in silence, develop them in silence, and then when they finally show up, the same people who doubted you won't even have time to react. You have to understand that noise is temporary, but results are permanent. People will forget what you argued about, they'll forget what you said, but they can't ignore what you built. They can't deny the house, the business, the degree, the transformation. That's forever. That's evidence. That's the language the world respects. Nobody can talk you out of results, but they can talk you out of your focus if you keep giving them access. That's why silence is power. It protects you from distractions and it makes the proof undeniable. Some of you don't realize the enemy of your destiny is not always failure. It's exposure too early. You keep putting your plans in the spotlight before they're strong enough to stand. And when the heat comes, when the pressure comes, when people start questioning, you fold. Not because you're weak, but because you weren't supposed to expose it yet. It was supposed to stay in the dark. It was supposed to be silent. There's a time to show and a time to grow. Don't confuse the two. You don't need to talk your way into destiny. You need to grind your way into it. You don't need to convince people to believe in you. You need to build something so undeniable that they have no choice but to believe. And that doesn't come from words, it comes from silence, from focus, from consistency, from the discipline to work when nobody's clapping, from the strength to keep going when nobody notices. Because the truth is, the silence is where legends are born. Stop craving the sound of applause and start craving the sound of progress. Stop needing people to cheer for you and start needing to see the evidence in your own life. Because when it's real, when it's finished, when it's undeniable, the noise will come all by itself. And you won't have to say a word. Silence speaks louder than words. Let your life prove it. You don't have to clap back. You don't have to argue. You don't have to waste your breath trying to convince anybody. Let success do the talking. Because the truth is, words fade, but results last. You can scream about your potential, you can shout about what you're going to do, you can try to prove people wrong with debates and explanations, but at the end of the day, the only thing that shuts everybody up is evidence, and evidence doesn't come from talking, it comes from working. See, too many of you are caught up trying to win arguments that don't move your life forward. You're so focused on proving somebody wrong in the moment that you're forgetting the bigger picture. Every time you waste your time defending yourself, you're slowing down the process of building something undeniable. Think about it. When you're busy typing paragraphs to prove your point, you're not building. When you're busy going back and forth with people who don't even matter, you're not moving forward. The loudest statement you can ever make is not what you say. It's what you achieve. When you start winning, you don't have to say a word. Your life becomes the microphone. Your progress becomes the announcement. People will see it, whether they want to or not. Success has a way of silencing the room. The same people who doubted you, the same people who clowned you, the same people who swore you wouldn't make it. Success makes them sit in silence. They don't need your explanation. They don't need your argument, because your results speak in a language they can't deny. But here's the catch, you can't fake it. You can fake talk, but you can't fake results. That's why it's so powerful. Because when the work is real, when the discipline is real, when the grind is real, the results will come, and they'll be too heavy for anybody to ignore. You don't have to broadcast it. You don't have to scream about it. You don't even have to advertise it. It speaks for itself. Success is the proof. Think about it. If somebody calls you lazy and you argue with them, you're just making noise. But if somebody calls you lazy and you go out and build something massive, they can't call you lazy anymore. They may not like you, but they can't deny the evidence. If somebody doubts your talent, you don't need to fight them. Just produce, just perform, just show them through your work that their opinion doesn't define you. Because once the evidence shows up, the argument is over. Some of you are missing opportunities because you'd rather clap back than level up. You'd rather argue with people on social media than put that same energy into building a life that makes them wish they never doubted you. You're more focused on being heard than being effective. But listen, let success handle the noise. Stop chasing validation. Stop trying to make people respect you with words. Earn their respect through results. Success has a way of forcing people to recognize you, even if they don't want to. And let me tell you this. Success doesn't just silence doubters, it inspires believers. When people see you winning, when they see you grind in silence and then show up with undeniable results, you become proof of what's possible. You don't just shut down negativity, you spark hope. You show others that discipline works, that focus pays off, that silence was worth it. That's why success is more powerful than anything you could ever say, because it doesn't just talk, It transforms. But don't get it twisted. Success doesn't come easy. That silence, that grind, that sacrifice, that's the hard part. That's why most people would rather talk than work. Talking is cheap, working is costly. Talking feels good now, working feels painful now. But here's the difference: talking pays nothing, working pays everything. The price you pay in silence produces the reward that makes all the noise you'll ever need. You've got to discipline yourself to resist the urge to respond. Every time you feel like explaining yourself, remind yourself, Success will explain it for me. Every time you feel like clapping back, remind yourself success will clap louder. Every time you feel like proving your worth to someone, remind yourself success is proof. Don't waste your words, save your energy, invest it into the grind, and let your life become the answer. Because the truth is, people forget arguments, but they never forget evidence. Years from now, nobody will remember what you said, but they'll remember what you built. They'll remember the degree you earned, the business you started, the family you raised, the transformation you made. That's the power of success. It leaves a mark that no argument can erase. So stop talking, stop arguing. Stop giving away your energy to people who don't even matter. Lock in, grind in silence, and let your results speak for you. Because at the end of the day, you don't have to clap back. Success will always do the talking. Protect your peace, protect your focus. That's the one thing most people don't value until it's gone. You think you're losing because you're not talented enough, because you don't have the right connections, because you don't have enough resources. But in reality, the biggest thing robbing you of progress is that you're giving your focus away to too many things that don't matter. Every time you let gossip enter your ears, every time you let someone else's drama pull you in, every time you let negativity become the soundtrack in your head, you're losing focus. And when you lose focus, you lose the ability to move forward. Focus is currency. It's more valuable than money. Because money without focus will be wasted. Talent without focus will never be maximized. Potential without focus is just a dream that never wakes up. You have to start protecting your focus like your life depends on it, because it does. Your future, your destiny, your breakthrough, your success. It all lives or dies based on whether you can guard your attention from the distractions around you. The truth is, we live in a world where noise is everywhere. You wake up and your phone is already screaming for your attention. Notifications, opinions, news, comparison. It all hits you before you even brush your teeth. And then you wonder why you can't get clarity on your vision. You wonder why you're not locked in on your goals. It's because you've been feeding your mind junk all day and expecting it to perform like it's running on premium fuel. That's why protecting your peace is non-negotiable. You can't just let anything or anyone have access to your mind. You can't just let every thought, every comment, every distraction set up shop in your head. You have to start being intentional about who gets your time, what gets your energy, and what you allow into your space. Protecting your peace doesn't mean you isolate yourself from the world. It means you filter it. It means you decide what's allowed in and what's not. Some of you need to learn how to say no. No to conversations that drain you. No to environments that don't grow you. No to people who don't respect your grind. Because every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your purpose, you're saying no to the progress you should be making. You don't owe everybody your time. You don't owe everybody your attention. Stop letting people rent space in your head for free. See, your focus is like a laser. When it's scattered, it's weak. When it's concentrated, it can cut through steel. But most of you are scattered. You're trying to do everything, be everywhere, respond to everybody. You're spread so thin that you don't have enough energy left to break through. You're busy, but you're not productive. You're loud, but you're not effective. You look like you're grinding, but your grind isn't hitting because your focus is divided. If you want to win, you've got to narrow it down. Get rid of the distractions. Get rid of the noise. Put all your energy into the one thing that matters, and watch how fast you start cutting through barriers. Protecting your peace also means guarding your inner circle. Not everybody who claps for you is happy for you. Not everybody who checks on you wants the best for you. Some people are only around because they want access to your energy. And if you're not careful, they'll drain you before you even realize what's happening. That's why you have to be selective. Surround yourself with people who feed you, not drain you. People who challenge you, not distract you. People who remind you of your focus when you start to forget. Because the truth is, your environment will either build your focus or break it. And don't forget, you have to protect your own mind from yourself. Sometimes the loudest distractions aren't outside, they're inside. It's your own doubts, your own fears, your own insecurities. It's the voice that tells you you're not good enough, not ready enough, not strong enough. That's why you've got to discipline your thoughts. You've got to control what you meditate on. You can't let negative thoughts take root in your mind. Because if they do, they'll rob you of peace, and once your peace is gone, your focus will follow. Train yourself to think different, to speak life, to replace doubt with belief. That's how you protect your peace from the inside out. Some of you don't even realize how much further you'd be if you just cut out half the noise in your life. If you stopped checking your phone every 5 minutes. If you stopped worrying about who's talking about you. If you stopped entertaining conversations that don't push you closer to your goal, you'd be unstoppable. But right now, you're losing because you're distracted, and distractions don't always look evil. They often look harmless. They look fun, they look easy, but little by little, they steal your focus, and by the time you realize it, you've wasted weeks, months, even years. That's why you have to be ruthless about protecting your peace. You can't afford to let anything compromise it. Because when your peace is gone, your focus is gone. And when your focus is gone, your future is gone. This is bigger than just feeling calm or avoiding drama. This is about whether you'll ever reach your full potential. It's about whether you'll ever see the life you keep dreaming about. And the only way to get there is to guard your mind, guard your heart, guard your energy with everything you've got. So I'm telling you right now, protect your peace and protect your focus, because without them, you'll never make it.